Hello and welcome to this episode of the GG Report, where I delve into the occasional game to provide you more than a 45-minute first experience on indie games. My name is Rubitic and I will be your host this evening. Hello everyone and welcome to the city of Dawn's Point in the world that is Banners of Ruin. This deck-building roguelite RPG has you taking control of two characters of the Blackfoot group, who are attempting to infiltrate the mighty House Ender, to exact revenge in a much more story-driven deck-building experience than you might be used to. Now, as I said, Banners of Ruin is a deck-building game that features elements of roguelite gameplay, mixed in with some simple RPG elements and topped off with a strategic combat system. This might be more than you initially expect to hear when you hear the term roguelite or deck builder, and the question rings, is the game better than the sum of its parts? Well, first and foremost, this is a deck building combat focused game, and the majority of your gameplay will be focused within this aspect. The one caveat of this aspect is that there is a deceiving amount of depth and strategy into building up your combat capabilities. The most notable and most common way across deck builders is to do just that. Build your deck with new cards. As with other games like Slay the Spire, you achieve this through completing combats or engaging with scenario effects, which can provide you with these newfound powers. But that is where the similarities end. You see, Banners of Ruin has a unique system in which not only do you have more than one character in your party, but these characters start with weapons which provide additional cards, being able to level up to learn talent abilities, which are in card form, as well as learn passive abilities, which have combat implications. There is also armor, which can have different effects on your starting armor amount, or to provide buffs. Now, this is where the vastly unique RPG and combat system come into play to really define this game as unique. With all these variables to consider and each character having their own resource pool in which to play the available cards, it becomes a much more tactical game to ensure you maximize your damage each turn. Combat in this game is not short and definitely steals the main focus if that is what you're most interested in. But what about the journey through the game, you ask? Well, the journey through the story takes place in a more choose-your-own-adventure style of gameplay, rather than just a series of icons that you can easily see and exploit through the map. Now, outside of combat, you're given the option of 3 paths, or alleys, in which there is a finite number of encounters where you decide which path to take. Each scenario has a timer on it for how long it will persist as you make decisions, and when those timers reach 0, they will either be swapped out or, uniquely, that encounter may evolve to have a different result. These evolved encounters can be good or bad, but oftentimes you will be trying to juggle as much scenario action as you can to try and power yourself up. Once you reach the end of these alleys, you will be given an option between hiring a new party member, fully healing your group, or getting an incredible amount of wealth before going into a large fight and entering the next part of the city. One of the very unique aspects of this game's progression mechanic is you do not get a full revealed map or knowledge of upcoming scenarios, which can make avoiding combats or less useful scenarios a bit tougher. It tries to tell a story through the scenarios that there is a corrupt leadership or military going on, and these are issues the denizens of Dawn's Point are encountering. Some options are less morally sound, however, having beat the game, I have yet to see those actions have any consequence. But how does it look? I hear someone yell, and my answer to that is incredible. The art direction in this game is some of the best I have seen in an indie title of the same genre, and if you've ever read or watched Watership Down or Redwall, you might see some similarities in design. The scenarios are beautifully depicted with camera movement to sell three-dimensional image, and the character screens show an incredible amount of detail and design potential within the characters themselves. With that being said, I do have a few gripes with the combat based design and animation, which really feels like it was rushed or skipped over due to budgetary reasons. Unfortunately, the gorgeous Watership Down aesthetic I mentioned does not carry into these assets, and the bare minimum was done for the animation of attacks and their associated effects. While they aren't bad, you can see the difference in and out of combat encounters, and it can really take you out of just being completely immersed in the game. The music score suffers a similar issue as well, in that the sound design of the game is well done and adds a great atmosphere when it works or was implemented. On a few occasions, I have run into the music either being far too loud or far too quiet, and sometimes it just feels like it isn't there. On a few occasions, the transition from loud or ongoing music will stop on a dime, and if it was possible you could get auditory whiplash, I think you would. That being said, the game is in early access, and I feel these issues are something that's going to be solved before release. Now for the elephant in the room that is early access, and subsequently why I'm hesitant to recommend the game right now, but would recommend it once more content has released. According to the Steam page, they plan to have this game out of early access within 1 year, with plans to add more content and solicit player feedback so they can make the game as good as possible. Now, why do I not want to recommend you pick this up right now, unless you're into the deck building genre and want something new and unique? That's because there's really not much content within the game right now, even for early access. And I was shocked and subsequently disappointed when I defeated the first boss just to be told, that was it, good job. And I have felt this way once before with Hades when it first entered early access. However, that game had other things to do and different styles of play to explore and unlock. I would, however, recommend you wishlist this game at the very least and get it on release or just once additional content gets added. Many of the small gripes I have are due entirely to the game needing polish, and that is an incredibly common aspect of early access. And this is an incredibly unique and fun gaming experience that really pushes how powerful indie developers are at creating incredible games. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the GG Report, and I want to give a big thanks to MonteBearo, the developers of the game, for providing me with a key for review and streaming purposes. If you want to see more gameplay of this, I will be uploading playthroughs and also playing it live over on my stream at twitch.tv/Rubitic. You can find the link for my stream, the Steam store page for this game, as well as my socials down below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to support me, then hit the like button, subscribe for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, GG.